out on the Habitat Oasis today in Southeast Ohio, and Josh and I are just wrapping up some tree planting of our Morse Nursery Big Buck Pack. So we bought 2 of these. We're planting one in the Lone Pine, which is an area that he likes to hunt, and we're going to head over to my clover field and plant the other kit over there. Planting these trees is part of our strategy to grow some trophy bucks on the property. We've set some goals to grow trophies that I guess meet the expectations of various hunters. We've got our kids who are just starting, and we've got ourselves that have been hunting for quite a while. So my goal is to shoot a Pope and Young in the next 2 to 3 years, and I want a Boone and Crockett in the next 4 to 5. I want to shoot them off of our property and have them feel like they're deer that we've grown. So we're making an investment now in trees that'll pay off for the long term. What I'd like to do today is I'm going to hit a couple things. One, I want to talk about just unboxing your Big Buck kit and what's going to be in it, your Big Buck pack. And then talk about our experience, what we found when we got out here, try to make yours a little bit smoother so that when you get into the field, everything goes easy. So first off, let's talk about the trees. The kit that we bought comes with 12 trees. And the trees are designed with different drop times. So you've got 2 in August, 2 September, 2 October, 2 November, 2 December drop times for the trees. So that's what we've got. So the first thing that we got was there was a box, and these boxes they're taped up and secure. Inside the first box was our chestnut trees. They are bagged. Each one of them is tagged so that you know what the drop date is on it, as well as what type of tree. They're sealed up, bagged, and there's nothing in there to keep any moisture. So you're going to want to make sure that you address that fairly quickly. Get them moist, get them in the ground. So all of our trees came bagged. They were packaged well, no concerns here of any damage to the trees. So that was how our chestnuts came. Another box, and this one's a little bit heavier, contained our persimmon. And the way it's packaged, they've actually put a zip tie through the box and around the trees to keep these trees from tipping, from being damaged. So if this box gets shaken, the trees are not going to be damaged. They were really well packaged, really happy with it. But when you pull the trees out, they are wrapped together with some wrap. There's 4 trees in here. 2 November drop, 2 December drop. Each one of them is in a bag, a mesh bag inside. So again, packaged really well. Real happy with how these showed up. In addition to the trees, we bought the tree survival kit. For $10 per tree, you get the survival kit. And the survival kit is designed to basically give you the best chances of tree survival and a good healthy tree. With that survival kit comes a 1-year warranty on your trees. So if they don't survive in that first year, that survival kit has given you a little bit of insurance. In the survival kit, first thing, there's several things here. First, you're gonna get what looks like trash bags. These are your weed mat. It's 3x3 weed mat, and the weed mat they're perforated. So when you unroll it, you can tear them and you put them around the tree. But 3x3, and there'll be enough for each tree, 1 for each tree. You also get a 5-foot tube, and the tubes they're all rolled up in here. So the tubes are going to come like this. It'll require some assembly. I'm going to talk about our experience with it here in just a minute, but you can see what it looks like when it's in place. So those are all in a box. Then there's a little baggie in here. In the baggie, there's 2 sets of black zip ties. These are for use in building your tubes. There are some metal anchors. Those are used to put your weed mat down and to anchor it. There's bird You don't want to be out there without them and find that you run out. Another thing, on these anchors, make sure you know how many anchors you have. So are you going to use 2, 3, 4? How many are you going to use per weed mat? We used 4 per weed mat. That seems to be what the count is designed for. So make sure of what you've got. You don't want to get out there without that. The fertilizer, there's 1 bag of fertilizer for each one. So again, just double check to make sure you've got it. And you got the bird nets. Honestly, there's 1 for each tube. My feeling on the bird net, I've used these a lot in the past. I come back and find oftentimes they fall down into the tube. They're on the ground blowing around. I've started taking them off my other trees. They're designed to keep birds from going down into your tubes. And I just found that you've got these little mesh bird nets laying all over the ground, and I'm not sure whether they biodegrade or not. I just decided I don't want them laying all over my property, so I've taken them off. I'm not using them on these trees either. So that's what comes in the kit. In terms of, I guess, more tips and things, feedback that I'd have, the first thing is around the tubes. I've always bought tubes that were pre-made before, so getting them this way was a little bit different for me. When you look at them, they've got perforations on them. There's a top and a bottom. Spend some time at home figuring out which is which. Do a little bit of research on the internet. The way we installed them with the perforations at the top. When I've done my research, it said perforations go at the top so that if you're spraying pesticide, you don't get it on your tree. I've heard other people say they go at the bottom for airflow. Everything I've read says they go at the top. So do your own research, make sure you know how you're going to do them. The other thing is, if you're doing a bunch of trees, they do take a little bit of time to put together. You're going to fight them a little bit. So as you're trying to roll it, it's moving. As we've done more of these, we've gotten better at it, but figure out how you're going to put it together. If you've got room when you're hauling stuff out to the field, pre-build all these. If they're pre-built, it's going to make them a lot easier. And use we used extra zip ties. They send zip ties that are designed to be released. We used a few zip ties that we zipped on here that were permanent, and you can see at the top we used one there. Where the stake is, we used one that could be released if we needed to adjust the stake. Other thing to think about, what kind of stakes are you going to use? So the kit does not come with stakes. You need to make sure you've got stakes and make sure you've got a way to secure those to the tube. So make sure, I've heard people use PVC pipe. We used the sawmill here on our property to cut our own stakes. So think about what kind of stakes you're going to use. On the weed mat, I mentioned that it's all perforated. What we found was if you try to tear it from the side, the perforations may not go all the way to the side, and you end up you're stretching the plastic. So if you start more in the middle on the perforation, it tends to come apart easier. There is an X in the middle that you can easily tear open. That goes over the tree and basically puts it in the center. When we put them down, we did not do a full 3 foot by 3 foot area with mulch on top of it. We folded our corners in and did a little bit smaller. You can see what our circle looks like. It's about 18 inches around the tree on each side. So that's how we did weed mat. Other thing we ran into was with the persimmon, and this goes back to before you leave the house, make sure you know how you're planting the trees. One of the things I would have liked to seen come with the kit was just one sheet of instructions with some basic details of how deep do I bury the roots on my different trees. Should I trim the roots? How big around should my hole be? Some basic tree planning. You can find this if you look on YouTube. If you Google it, you can find it out there. But I would like to see it come from the nursery, that these are our tips for your best success with your trees. The persimmon trees were each in a little mesh bag. When we got to those, we weren't quite sure, do you plant them in the bag? Do you not use the bag? So you don't want to get to the field and not have those questions, especially if you don't have internet access. What we've done is we put some slits in the side of the bag so that the roots can go out those slits as they spread. I'm not sure if that was the right approach or not, but that's the way we did it. So that's my tip on the persimmon trees. But some people are really familiar with how to plant these trees. Others are not. We've planted quite a few trees, but we just found that we had little questions that we weren't certain of. We don't have internet access out here on this part of the property, so we weren't quite sure what to do. I see Josh has one more item for me to hit.
Fertilizer packet. Planting location.
Okay, fertilizer packets, yes. So there is a fertilizer packet that comes with each one. It has instructions on it. Take a look at it. But basically, make sure as you're planting your trees, it's real easy to forget it. It's supposed to go, you know, I don't even have the packet in front of me, so I'm not going to quote it. Look on the packet. Follow the directions on the packet. You don't open the packet. It just goes in the hole, and it will, it's a slow release that will feed the tree. So that is pretty much sums up our experience. All in all, we're really happy with what we've got, and I don't know how many of the trees you can see, but we've set up a nice circle here, or half circle around one of Josh's favorite hunting spots, and down the road we should have stuff from August all the way to December to attract deer into this clover field that, if you can't see it, it's a beautiful clover field as well. We're early May and this thing is doing great. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Share our channel with your friends, and please subscribe. And as we always like to say, outdoors is always in season, so get outside and enjoy it. Thanks, and have a great day.